Fanfiction Piece continue to bring us fire every single week, I swear. A lot of theories got confirmed this chapter, so let's not even waste time. Let's get into it. I'm sorry I did not make a video last week, y'all. The days kept going on and it got to the point where I felt like it didn't even make sense for me to make the video because it was too late. I'm gonna try and get out that mentality though, because a lot of crazy stuff happened in last chapter. But let's talk about Kozuki Moriya really quick, just because we're still on the cover page. It adds a crazy level of depth to Moriya in general, especially his clash with Kaido, now knowing that he was a Kozuki, and just because I still don't exactly understand how clans work. I know it's not like everyone in the clan is blood related, but it still means in some way that Moriya is related to Odin and Momonosuke and his sister. I'm blanking on her name. It's is it Hiyori? Yeah, and Hiyori. And it makes, in the beginning when we found out that Moriya went to Wano and fought Kaido and took Ryuma's body, it's kind of like what's going on here? Like, why is he in Wano? Maybe it's just like, oh, he wanted to challenge Kaido, yada yada. But now finding out, no, he just lives there, and I kind of want to know what the rest of his family look like for him to look that way. But just based off the gravestone, I'm assuming he faked his death, left after losing, and did what he did. But shout out to Moriya, Oda. I love when you add little details like that. Now let's get into the actual chapter itself. Who is bold enough to sneak onto Pirate Island and kidnap Shop? It had to have been some God's Knights or something. Now I get the sense that Wang Ji bitch ass helped whoever it was, because we see him counting the money, and then later on he's all like, oh, this is just a rumor, how do we even know this is true? But still, just for you to be like, because I feel like it makes more sense to go out to sea and get Shaki when she's rolling around with the Kucha pirate, because it's not like she's Boa where you have to worry about her devil fruit. You can just go get her there. You choose, nah, I'm gonna go on the island that has Rock D Zebek, and I'm about to go kidnap the most beautiful woman in the world. I understand. I understand you wanting to get Shaki that bad, and I get it. Whitebeard wasn't as big as he is now. That name didn't hold as much weight. Same thing for Kaido and all that. But it's a lot of famous pirates there besides Rock. So that's a bold move. I guess the Celestial Dragons are bold to the extreme. Speaking of Celestial Dragons, bro, we knew Garling was a bad dude, but come on. When Shanks's mom was talking about, stay with us, I might want to be your wife and all that, and Garling just with a smile on his face, not even like a straight face, a smile on his face, just looked like he didn't give a damn. He's like, if I was to live anywhere, it wouldn't be here. This island's not even gonna be up for long anyway. And then he stabs the mother of his children right in front of them. And the oddest part, we'll get to it later, but the oddest part is he just seemingly left the kids there and just left her to die. So I'm kind of confused by this whole thing. Like, someone like Garling, you ever see a character that seems like too evil to have sex? Does that make sense? Like somebody like Thanos, I guess in One Piece terms, even somebody like Kaido, like it's kind of surprising that these characters have kids to me, because it just seems like the last thing that's on their mind. Like, I don't know, I guess it happens, we're all human, we all get horny, want to do what we do. But for Garling to do something like that, I'm like, bro, why'd you even have the kids in the first place? Like, it just sick, dude. Man, it's been a long time coming. For the people that are like, Dragon needs to do something, I'm tired of Dragon, blah 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 blah. Finally, maybe here's a drop in the bucket. I know it's just a drop, we got a drop in Egghead, but here's another little drop in the bucket for y'all. It is confirmed 110% that Dragon was a Marine at some point, and not only was he a Marine, but he was on God Valley, and not only that, he probably saved Shanks and Shamrock. But again, let me not jump the gun, let me just focus on this right now. It is very interesting to me that these officers that are talking to Dragon are discussing it. I know that Garp wasn't the hero yet, but I still feel like that name should hold some kind of weight. I'm assuming that Dragon left before Garp got the the hero title, because after this there's no reason for him to stay, unless maybe he did for a little bit longer, because we still got to understand why Sakazuki has beef with him, or Akainu. Sorry, I don't know why I said Saka, but there's just a lot of interesting things are going to come with that. I'm just glad we finally see it happen, and I'm glad that Dragon, I don't want to say he's timid, he's obviously new, so he's a rookie, so he's kind of like cautionary. He's like, we supposed to be doing this? I like that he's questioning things, even though he's like just got there, and it's not like he's, can swing his dick around and be like, oh, I'm Garp's son, fuck y'all. But it's just good to see that sense of like goodness or like questioning the world around him has been in him. Big News Morgans is a character that when I first saw him, I just thought he was just some goofy ass dude. I loved what he added to the One Piece world building, but just see him now, like, first of all, how old is this dude? Because this is like, what, 39 years ago? I don't know, maybe he looks like he's in his like 20s or something. I'd say maybe early 20s. But Morgans be talking that shit, bro. He don't give a damn. When that Cypher Pole agent showed up to assassinate him and he whooped his ass, I already knew what type of time Morgans was on. But for him to be like, is y'all gonna pay me to keep my mouth shut? And him basically saying, well, I'm gonna leak the information to Pirate. Anyway, boy, Morgans, you a bad dude, bro. Another reason, I think this, I like to see the Rocks Pirates come together for the common goal of, getting Shocky back. I mean, we know Rocks has a little deeper motivation of why he wants to go to God. But I think even just showing that Big Mom is over here talking about, ooh, like, you want a devil fruit, right, Kaido? Like, this devil fruit would be good for my kid. I need that. Like, and how she's not really concerned for Shocky. I mean, it makes sense. Shocky really has nothing to do with her. But it's gonna be sad when we don't get to see this crew together. But I love this crew, man. This might be one of my favorite crews in One Piece right now, because I love Rock, and just seeing these established characters in their younger days and seeing their interactions and their dysfunction. I just love every second of it, and how there's so many different things driving them, and how, it's all about to come to an end soon. I think Tekking, I was just watching a Tekking video like 2 weeks ago where he was talking about, maybe Rocks and Davy Jones are the same person. So I'm like, just for it to be confirmed that this man's name is Davy D. Zabek, meaning that Blackbeard's name is Davy DT. So when he said that he was a Davy Jonesian pirate, I wonder if Rocks revealed, or I wonder if Zabek revealed to Emu that he is a Davy D. And even Zabek is kind of like, maybe it's a translation thing. I'll read the official, but from the translation I read, it was Zabek telling Harold, maybe the world government was trying to cover up my name, that's why I'm Rocks. Or maybe it was Zabek's parents that were like, we're gonna hide our identity and hide our child from persecution, just like Zabek kind of did with Teach. Because I know this means something big. Davy Jones has been brought up in One Piece for a long time, like pre-time. And Tekking was also talking about in the video, maybe Davy Jones and Joy Boy are the same person. Maybe, this is all linked together. So, I mean, I feel like it's leaning towards that, because I don't know, with this beef they have with the Buccaneers and the Davies, I'm like, where does, it feels like it's gotta be that Joy Boy was Davy Jones. This is just adding even more depth to Blackbeard's character and a lot of other stuff, and I am so happy with this. This is why I call it Fanfiction Piece, because a lot of things that happen in these recent chapters just feel like things that people theorized about, dreamt up, and I'm like, yeah, it's very likely. But now that we're actually seeing it, I'm like, so Oda let a fan in the office and is letting them right. I was rocking with Harold. I understood him. I liked his evolution. I knew he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed when he was letting a lot of stuff with Loki slide. But Harold, you're probably Zabek's like one person that like he truly trusts or like would consider like a friend, outside of maybe Whitebeard, because I feel like Whitebeard and Zabek get along pretty well. But for Zabek to reveal to you that he's a Davy, and to say, I'm not even gonna tell the rest of my crew this, I'm only gonna tell you, and for him to tell you they're gonna go to God Valley and do what they do, and I just want to make sure my wife and kid got there, and for you to still be like, hey bro, sorry, can't let you do that. What are you talking about? Is the cosign of the world government really that important to you? Maybe there's some kind of hidden detail that will get revealed later. Maybe they threaten Harold with something, but I feel like it's just weird for him to hear all this from Rocks and still be like, nah, you're a villain, the world government, X, Y, and Z, I'm still rocking with it, even after he told you they're gonna these people like they're animals, and you still rocking with it. I don't know, Harold, you kind of teetering for me, so maybe he could turn it around. Now, this is clearly not the first hunt that the Celestial Dragons have done, and it's just kind of said that they do this every 3 years, but I'm wondering if in the current story of One Piece, if they still do it, because I can't see why they wouldn't do it. Like, there's no real reason why they wouldn't. But I'm just wondering, curious. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think the hunt still goes? I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's starting to feel like we're actually going to see the God Valley. I thought we were going to get this flashback cut off a long time ago. Not like the whole Harold flashback, but just the portion of it to do with, I thought we were going to cut away a long time ago, but we're still going. And I feel like at this point, we have to see God Valley. It would be incomplete. Maybe there's still certain things we won't see about God Valley, just because I thought maybe we'll see the rest when Blackbeard eventually has an interaction with Garp or something, just because, you know, Garp beat his daddy up, all that. But at this point, I don't think that really makes sense. I think you might as well just show it to us outright. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get to see the big battle brouhaha like we want to, but that's what the anime is for. That's why the anime will add those extra scenes and all that. So I'm excited for that. But I really think we're gonna see God Valley, and then once that's over, we will finally get back to the Harold and Loki portion of all this. But we just needed this added context to truly understand that. So I didn't expect to see God Valley this soon. Definitely didn't expect it from Elbap, but I am not complaining at all. And here Oda go being tricky with the misdirection, because the first time that I read the chapter, I thought that the person Dragon ran into that was like, "Save my kids please," was Blackbeard's mom, because then we see her saying, you know, "Come here, teach, it'll be all right." And Oda did draw like Blackbeard's sisters, so I was like, oh shoot, like, are we actually doing this? But then, you know, upon further inspection and like watching Brago's reaction to the chapter, I think it's the case that Dragon ran into Shanks and Shamrock's mom, and she's the one saying, "Save my kids please," because, you know, you see a trail of blood. And again, shout out to One Piece moms, bro. They're so resilient. Shout out to Porcus D. Rouge. Shout out to Shanks' unnamed mom. Shout out to Belmere. Shout out to all the One Piece moms, man. But I just think it's so crazy how this place, God Valley, has so many intersections of important characters, and how it came to be that Dragon saved Shanks, and that Shanks ended up saving Luffy, and in turn inspired Luffy to be a pirate. The fate in One Piece is truly a crazy thing. Now, my question is, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see this maybe when Rox gets there, Zebek. I want to know how Blackbeard escaped, how Zebek, you know, kind of keeps the secret that he's his kid. How does Zebek pass on all this knowledge of stuff? Where does Blackbeard get all this knowledge about who he is? Maybe it just comes from him knowing that he's a Dave, and him doing his own research on history and all that, whatever he can find. I think that will likely be the case, but I would love to see an interaction between him and Eddie. I feel like he's got to see his dad, at least, even if it's just from a distance, and he's seeing his dad in battle, or he maybe shares a few words with his son. I need to see that. And one last question I have: is Shanks a Davy? Because I don't think everyone on God Valley is a Davy, but I do think that a lot of them there are, or they're just, that's where all or most of the Davies are in the world. So is Shanks a Davy? If he's a Davy in a Figar land, you know, that might add to why Gabon was like, you know, you're supposed to be the child of destiny, and just add another deeper layer between him and Blackbeard, a deeper layer between him and Luffy, if the Davies do come from Joy Boy being Davy Jones. It's just so many answers, but always so many questions. You know how it is. But if you made it this far in the video, please drop a like, drop a comment. What do you think of chapter? Are you loving Fanfiction Piece? Are you hoping that this flashback never ends? Because that's kind of where I'm at. But, you know, all good things must come just like this video. It is being boy Dougie D Fresh, and I'm out. Peace.